What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. So we've got some card reveals for the new Frieren Japanese set, which is coming out next month. So we've got SSPs, we've got SPs. They do have signatures on them. So we're going to check them out, see what we think, and just take a little look into the set and maybe discuss what the possible pull rates could potentially be when this comes out. So we've got a release date of the 12th of April. So what I really like about this is the show is still airing. We've got about 3 or 4 episodes left. That means that when the show finishes, literally about 2 weeks later, we're going to have the set come out in Japanese. And personally, I think this is what we miss out a lot on in English Weiss Schwarz sets. You know, Chainsaw Man only just came out, yet the show that season aired God knows how long ago now. And I feel like that delay between the show finishing and finish airing and then the set coming out, I feel like you lose a lot of hype and excitement for the enjoyment of when that set does come out. Like personally, knowing that I can open a box or 2 of this when it comes out and all the memories, all the characters, the show itself will still be very fresh, and you know, it would only be like a week ago since I last enjoyed that. So then being able to enjoy it by opening the booster box, seeing those characters again, I think it's just going to add so much more to the enjoyment of opening the set. It's just a shame we never really get that in English. So I'm really excited to open this because I am watching it as it airs at the moment. So I think this is just going to make the opening so much more fun. Personally, I wish they somehow could do it in English, but you know, some sets come out 6 months, 8 months, 12 months later after the Japanese release. And yeah, I feel like there's a bit of excitement that you lose having such a delay. But let's look at the set. Let's see what we're getting. So 24 boxes per case. It is the new configuration, so we've got more boxes per case. The case price still seems to be the same, but you get more booster boxes in a case, but then less packs in a box. So one box will only have 12 booster packs, and it is a cheaper price for a booster box. And then each pack gets 5 cards. So I am just on the Weiss Schwarz Japanese website translating it in the browser, so some of the translation may be a bit iffy. But onto the cards, onto the rarities, we've got one secret rare, which is foil stamping design card. So note here that it doesn't say signed, so the SEC is not signed. It just has the borders, the SEC and SSP style borders with the foiling on them, with no signature. But we've got 3 SSPs, and then we've got 9 SPs. We've also got some overframe rares. We've got 13 of them, and then we've just got the standard SRs, double rares, and everything below that. And something to note here is, here's the cast. Here are all the characters of the signed cards that have signed cards. Some of them have 2. Obviously, there's 3 SSPs. Some characters have an SSP and an SP, and then the rest will just have 1 SP per character with the voice actor's signature on them. And what they also announced is that we've got newly drawn illustrations. So essentially the SSPs and the SPs are new drawn illustrations for this set. Obviously the rest of the cards, that means, are screenshots from the show. Some people don't like that, but me personally, I like that some of the cards, well, most of the cards in this case, are screenshots from the show, because there are moments, there are screenshots from the show that have a lot of impact. There's a lot of emotion going on because of what happened in that particular scene. I like that screenshots are used, but you also get newly drawn illustrations for those chase cards. I think that's absolutely fine. Going back a few years, where some sets would have blurry screenshots because of the quality was just not as high. Obviously, I really don't like blurry cards, but I think going forward, like for new shows like this, there's not really going to be any blurry cards. The shows are high resolution, high quality shows where on a card they still look sharp. Like look at Chainsaw Man, didn't have any blurry cards. All of those screenshots from the show looked high quality and crisp. So there's no, I'm not expecting any issues with that type of thing. Obviously things when they did like an Avatar The Last Airbender set, that is a very old show and the screenshots are very blurry, and you can see that if you ever open a set and look at some of those bulk common rare cards, that you know, you can tell that that's just a screenshot. But it is getting a lot better with these newer modern shows. So let's look at the cards. So we've got SSPs. Let's just open this up a bit bigger. And yeah, wow, 3 SSPs. Let's just try and get that centered a bit better. 3 SSPs. They all look amazing in my opinion. I like each of these SPs. They look really, really nice. Characters a great choice. And just the designs, I think, yeah, really nice as SSPs. Normally SSPs have a potentially like more detail to them to the SPs. And you know, there are things going on in the background here, and you may think that, you know, it's just some flowers behind them, but there is some meaning to this. Like if you've seen the show, and I highly recommend going to watch Frieren if you've not seen it. Give it, you know, 3 or 4 episodes to see what you think. However, it does change. Like I'd say like the second half of the first season is very different from the first half of the season. Some of the concepts and things are still the same, but I mean, I originally went into this thinking it was, you know, going to be quite action based. As the full title suggests, it is about a journey. And the first half kind of relates more to like an emotional and meaning side of things. There is still some action in there, but it definitely changes towards the second half. I'm very surprised what the last arc is doing, if I'm honest, but I enjoy it regardless. Like I found the whole show very enjoyable, and I would actually happily rewatch it even now, even though I'm watching it as it airs weekly. I think it's just a really enjoyable show. So yeah, give it a try. Watch a couple of episodes, and you'll know by then like if it's for you or not. But yeah, these 3 SPs I think are absolutely great. The flowers behind them, there is some meaning behind that. If you've seen the show, like it isn't just a case of like, oh, there's some white flowers and it kind of looks like it matches her, and the blue ones kind of match him because he's got blue hair and wears blue clothes, right? You know, obviously that has something to do it because it does make the card look nice, but the flowers do hold some significance and there is meaning behind them. So it's really nice that they've obviously thought about that and included it in these newly drawn illustration designs. And obviously we've got Fern there just doing an attack. And then, yeah, Frieren and Himmel with very similar style cards that look really nice, if I'm honest. But yeah, onto the SP. So these SPs here kind of remind me of the Chainsaw Man SPs, where there wasn't really much going on there. Or they're almost more simple, because at least some of the Chainsaw Man SPs had like the character repeated in the background. They had some color block going around. These are very, very simple. You know, there's nothing, literally nothing on all of them in terms of background. You're just getting a different color that kind of complements the character. In terms of SPs, you know, given that the SSPs are more detailed, I think it's fine. If it was just SPs, I probably would be really disappointed. But as I've always said, like the cards that have simple backgrounds usually have a lot of like texture and really strong texture on that background, and actually makes the cards look very nice in person, but not necessarily in flat designs. But yeah, we've got obviously Frieren and Himmel again, and then some of the other characters. You know, I don't want to spoil too much and go into too many of the characters, but we've got 2 of the sort of original characters there as well with their signatures, and kind of, again, you can tell there's some thought put into this in terms of the meaning, in terms of like what the character's doing. It has, you know, it comes back to and represents part of that character. But you'll notice that more if we go on to the last SSPs, which are these ones here. So I really want to talk about this Stark here. If you've seen the show, you will know he is holding a giant hamburger steak, which, again, it shows they've put a lot of thought and meaning into it, because that holds some significance to this character. Like that means a lot to him. And this actually reminds me of the Chainsaw Man Denji SP, where he's eating lunch. And it's not like he's eating lunch in a way where like a Pokemon alt art would be, and it's super nice card. It's literally just he's in the frame and just eating, and the background's just plain. Which, for the show and for the character, there is a deep meaning behind that if you've seen the show. And again, same here with Stark. Like, he's holding this giant hamburger steak, which, you know, if you didn't know, it just looks like some sort of like chocolate cake thing. but it does hold some significance to this character. But with that said, I think what is missing here is having deep meaning like this is great, but the card also needs to look nice, right? You've done a fantastic job here, because, you know, some people might not have even, you know, realized about the flowers in the background, because it is just, you know, in the background. That deeper meaning is there in the background in a subtle way that complements the card and the design of the card. This, however, I mean, it's doing nothing for me. I'll be honest, I think it just looks stupid as a card. Like, yes, there's meaning behind it, and that is great that you thought about that, but the card just looks bad. The card just looks stupid. Like, if I open it and pull this, as much as it's great to get a signed card, it just doesn't look nice as a card. It just doesn't look nice. At least here we've got some sort of, you know, we've got something going on. Like, he's, you know, performing some sort of magic. Like, it looks a lot nicer. This one, it's just like, I don't know. I think the meaning's great, but the card, the outcome just doesn't look good in my opinion. I think all the others are fine. I mean, Fern is kind of just stood there. Unless I'm missing something in terms of what she's wearing. I don't know where perhaps the meaning for this one is, but yeah, I don't know. I like the fact they're thinking about that, but I think for this card in particular, it was implemented bad. The same with the Denji. Like, it's just, you can do that in such a better way. Like, you look at Pokemon alt arts, you know, you can have people eating something and it looks amazing, but yeah, I personally just not a big fan of this card. And again, like, it's a male character. I'd imagine this is probably going to be a cheap card unless it's very playable. But yeah, the rest of the cards I think are fine. Again, like these ones, you know, it's things that represent the characters, and I think these ones work well. These ones work fine. It's just the Stark, which I struggled to see. You know, it just doesn't look good in my opinion. But there are the SSPs and SPs. We've got a few more cards. So we've got the Secret Rare. Now, as I said earlier, it is not signed. And as you can see, SEC cards usually have the gold foil around the outside. However, gold foiling usually looks like this, but for some reason on the SEC, it's kind of like a rainbow foiled pattern. So really interesting to note. I'll be really interested to see how this actually comes out. I don't know if I've spotted this kind of thing before on some flat card designs. Maybe it's like Spy X Family, where maybe that's how they signify and show that it's more of a glittery effect. I don't know. We will see when the set comes out, I suppose. But yeah, really nice card with Frieren and Himao on that one for the Secret Rare. And then I think there's a couple of OFRs. We've got, let's just open this up a bit bigger. So yeah, 2 OFRs here. Really like this one. I really like kind of unique card designs like this, where it's just different to perhaps the normal card in terms of just patterns and the angle and things. And yeah, obviously these are going to be sort of screenshots from the show, but we've got Fern here doing an attack, and again an OFR. So hopefully that whole background is textured, because if it is, that moon and background's going to look amazing. Potentially though, the moon might not be included in the texture, and it might just be these tiny little blue bits around the outside, which means the card will be very lacking in texture. So I really hope it's the whole moon and the whole background there, because occasionally we do get cards that only have a little bit of texture on the background. So yeah, hopefully it's included, because that will look really, really nice in my opinion. And then, yeah, it's just some details about playability side of things. So in terms of pull rates, obviously this is using the new setup, 24 boxes per case, with the case price being the same. If I had to speculate, because each set, it does differ here and there between sets in Weiss Schwarz, but generally I'm going to say and expect that we are getting 1 SSP per case. I'd imagine that's what's going to happen. 1 SSP per case, and then potentially like 2, 3 or 4 SPs per case. I think obviously that comes down to the OFRs, because we do have OFRs as well. So maybe there will only be like 2 SPs and then 3 or 4 OFRs that can come in the case as well. Obviously, as soon as the set is out, people start opening cases, we will know, we will get some community pull rates, because obviously there are set pull rates, but Bushiroad do not give them out, do not say these are guarantees. It's just people in the community will open cases and say this is the hits they got. Someone else will say, yeah, I got the same hits, and then that is how we work out the pull rates. Obviously, we do have the secret rare as well. So typically, that will normally replace one of the SP pulls if it's a secret or rare that doesn't have a signature like it is in this case. So I'd imagine it's going to replace an SP pull from the case if you do get the secret rare. But yeah, we will know when the set comes out. Let me know what you think about the designs, and if you've watched the show in the comments, let me know what you think. I will be stocking this set on cardcami.co.uk, so if you're in the UK or EU, you can purchase this for £37.50 per booster box. Something to note as well, if you become a channel member on this YouTube channel, you will get a 5% off discount code. Now, that means if you're spending over £100, you will actually save money by becoming a channel member and getting that discount code. You can also cancel that channel membership at any time, so you know, even if you don't want it and it's a one-time use, you're still going to save money. So it just makes sense to go ahead and do that if you're picking up some product and spending over £100 on the shop. As always, guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.